So I think that's going to be a big surprise for people at the Olympia. It's a much, much stronger pose than what he showed off this weekend. But for these reasons, again, this was a Hunter pose. Next up is the side tricep pose. As you guys saw in the criteria video, we want to see these guys hit the side tricep pose from the side. So the way Andrew's hitting his side tricep pose was basically a variation of the ab and thigh, but instead of the arms being down, he's showing off his tricep and has his arms down. Guys transition into this pose all the time, and transitioning into it is fine. However, it's called side tricep for a reason. We want to see their bodies from the side. We want to see the side leg again. The side leg gets judged in two poses, the side chest and the side tricep. So as unbelievable, of course, because Andrew has an amazing ab and thigh, but as unbelievable as his side tricep pose he was hitting looks, it's not what we want to see and not what we're judging in the side tricep. We need to see that side leg, and we want to see these guys in the side tricep. Again, this is something I talked to Andrew about backstage, and we worked on hitting that pose as well backstage. He hits it because, obviously, it plays to his strengths. He still needs to get that side leg better and the conditioning and everything else with the side leg better. But it's still a good pose for him when he hits the actual side tricep. Hunter's side tricep has improved a ton. He has the thickness. He has the width through the top. His chest actually looks better in this side tricep pose than it does in the side chest pose. It keeps the thickness a little bit more. When Hunter's controlling his waist and has his abs blown out and sucked in, this is a very, very strong pose for Hunter. And in our opinion, Hunter takes this side tricep pose. So that's why, again, Hunter has a very strong side leg as well. So that's why Hunter takes the side tricep pose. Andrew knows to actually hit the side tricep pose before going into this variation. Even though his variation looks insane, this was a Hunter pose at the show. Next up is the ab and thigh. And I know I said this about the front lat spread, but I think I can say this without any doubt. Andrew has the best ab and thigh pose in the whole entire pro league right now. It's an unbelievable pose for him. His midsection and abs are probably the best in the whole entire division, from head to toe. He has great arms flowing into how wide his lats look in this pose, down to the craziest core in bodybuilding. And again, his legs have great size to them from the front. If he can even get them either more separated or even a little bit bigger, this pose becomes somehow even stronger for him. But this is a pose basically when he's in this kind of condition that he was even in here, he doesn't lose it to anybody. Hunter's ab and thigh is a weaker shot for him. I suggested to him that he should actually hit the one arm over his head variation that he was hitting instead of the straight two arms overhead. With the one arm overhead pose, it actually looks a little bit better on him. He's able to flex his one quad, which has great size and separation and detail into it. His abs and his core actually look better. Even his obliques and serratus look way more detailed, and it gives him a better illusion and shape to the shot. So if he hits it that way, it's a decent pose for him. It's better than the two hands overhead, but it's just no match for Andrew in this pose. Lastly, we get to the most muscular pose. It was actually interesting because they both would hit two variations of the most muscular. Andrew would start out with his hands clasped in front of him. Hunter would do a hand on hip variation, and then they would almost switch to Andrew doing his hands on the hip variation to Hunter keeping his hands clasped. Now, this pose is a very, very close pose between them, especially when they first came out and started posing. Andrew, with his hands clasped together, is a much better most muscular for him. He keeps way more size and shows off the roundness and the thickness of his arms, his chest, and shoulders with the hands clasped. Also, you see his abs. They come into play in this pose. They're exposed, which is a great strength for him. And his lower body, again, from the front, is still very, very solid. Now, Hunter actually looks better with his one hand on hip, one arm in the crab flex. He's able to show off the arms and the shoulders. His chest actually shows off some thickness here. His abs still look pretty good here, and obviously his lower body is very crisp and detailed and has great size to it. He takes away some of his size because he's showing off also with the hands on the hips. He shows off his width. You can also see his lats here. Now, whenever he puts his hands together, he takes away some of that width and some of that X-frame and some of the fullness by doing that and makes himself look a little bit smaller. And then when Andrew would go to his hands on the hips, he wasn't posing his lats, so he looks more straight up and down, you see the gaps in his physique, and he's not showing off nearly the roundness and the fullness. So both of them on their second variation, it was actually worse than the first way that they hit it. So in the first way, when they both came out, this is an extremely close pose between them. Really could go either way. As we posed them and as it went on, that's when, again, the control of the midsection and the sweating and being washed out really hurt Hunter, and this turned it into an Andrew pose all the way by the end. So another pose that was almost a coin flip turned into, as we worked them harder and harder, it became an Andrew pose. To wrap everything up here, as you see from what I just said, whenever these guys first came out and were first posing them, I have Hunter taking the side chest, the back double bicep, the back lat spread, the side tricep, and also at the beginning, I would have given him the most muscular by maybe a hair. Now, because it's so close between such great competitors, we knew we had to work them. And working them also helps the judges see who's going to keep their composure and who's going to keep their conditioning and who is going to be able to go through this and look better as the time goes on. And we'll see if someone technically breaks or not. And we've had to do this, in other shows with other divisions even as well, when it shows this close between two great competitors. By the end, like I said earlier, Hunter was sweating, he was fading, and also losing control of his midsection. So by the end, I had Andrew winning the front double, the front lat spread, the ab and thigh, the most muscular. However, poses that were clearly Hunter's when they first came out, all of a sudden turned into more of toss-ups. This includes even the back double bicep by the end, because how Hunter faded, the definition and the crispness to his back, he started to sweat and he started to lose that, and Andrew started to pick up steam. Also, the side chest that was pretty clearly Hunter's, when they first came out, all of a sudden he started sweating. We can still see the midsection in the side chest, in the side tricep. So in these side poses that were clearly Hunter's, now they're becoming toss-ups, and Andrew's gaining ground and becoming even stronger. So by the end, I had Andrew taking 4 poses clearly, with other poses becoming toss-ups. That would push it into Andrew's favor, and I think that can show you guys and explain why I put them through so many rounds of posing, because Andrew has 2 very, very dominant poses, front lat spread and abdominals and thigh. Hunter had 2 very dominant poses, which were the 2 back poses, the back double bicep and the back lat spread. However, all the other poses were so close with each other, we really wanted to get a definitive answer on who was going to win the show, and posing him that much helped us make our decision and led to us going with Andrew, because of how not only did he stay the same, but arguably got stronger as we posed them more and more, while Hunter got weaker. So I hope this helps everybody understand what we're seeing at the judges table, the criteria, like in the video yesterday as well. That's the criteria video, but I hope this helps you understand what I was saying in the criteria video. And hopefully this helps inform fans and athletes and coaches and everybody else moving forward more on what we're looking for in the open men's bodybuilding class. Thank you.